The city of Kingston and public health has been discussing for having fluoridation in our water. According to them, according to presentation at the city council, we don't have enough fluoridation in our waters to prevent the dental disease, especially for the young children. So I will ask you the first question as a doctor, what you see out there when you treat the young Canadians and young Kingstonians, and also what you know about the fluoridation, how important is it?
Right. So as a pediatric dentist, I see many children every day who have tooth decay, and it's really sad for me to see that there's a lot of children that are experiencing high rates of tooth decay. Public Health has actually done a school screening that showed about 40% of senior kindergartners experience tooth decay, which is really sad to think that like there's almost 1 in 2 children have a cavity or may be living in pain because of their dental issues. So I see a lot of children with cavities. And it's interesting because it does affect all walks of life. So I see children from lower socioeconomic backgrounds or possibly from maybe more educated families, and they all have tooth decay. And I think a commonality I see between all of that is there's no fluoride in the water here. And what I'm really passionate about with fluoride is that it's a great it's a great resource for preventing tooth decay because it can affect any person in the community. So you don't need to go to the dentist, or you don't need to have good oral hygiene habits. Like, you can get it from the water, and so because of that, it really helps improve health inequities. And a lot of research has shown that cavities tend to occur in those that come from poorer backgrounds or aren't able to access the dentist. And so for me, I think fluoride in the water would be a great benefit for many of the people in Kingston, and not only the children, but adults benefit from it as well. And where all the cities I've practiced in before have had fluoride in the water, and I have seen anecdotally lower rates of decay, but I've seen that it's really helped, and I am a very strong supporter of it.
Thank you, Dr. Ashenbal, for your opinion. Dr. Waji, you know this is a very complex issue. Many people are also against, and the study from the both sides is proving and not proving, and it's in the favor and not in the favor. You go through this every day. You see the people every day, maybe hundreds of people, and then you see the issues and problem, what is caused to the tooth decay or tooth issues or poor oral health. What do you think that how the fluoridation will beneficial for everyone in Kingston?
So, I mean, yourself, you alluded to this in the first part of the segment, and after COVID, things have really changed. And if you don't just need to walk through downtown Kingston, even during the election, the past federal election, the number of homeless people, the number of people from marginalized communities increased. And this isn't just anecdotally, this is, if you actually look at the Chief Public Health Officer made a presentation last week, in the last 4 years, we've seen a 25% increase in dental disease, decay, caries in children. And fluoridation is really democracy in the sense that, some people believe that just teach children to go brush and floss their teeth better. But when these kids are coming from, fairly humble backgrounds where the parents don't necessarily have the knowledge they need to prevent tooth decay, where the parents don't necessarily have the resources to get these kids to the dentist, you're really helping these kids in the developing dentition have that fluoride incorporated. So you're getting, you're getting hydroxyapatite, you're getting hydroxyfluoroapatite that's more resistant to acid demineralization. And so these kids aren't necessarily going to suffer from the ill effects of poor oral health. I think, I'm very sympathetic to those who are against fluoride. I mean, we've had vaccinations have been let's just be honest here, let's just talk about the elephant in the room, has been a contentious issue in recent times. And I can truly understand with the the SARS-CoV-2 pandemic there, and the rapid acceleration of vaccinations that were brought forward. And it didn't help when certain groups basically said there was no shortcuts taken, and me and all my medical colleagues were like, where's the clinical trials? We have these rules in place so we don't end up with things like the thalidomide crisis. But what I can reassure you is that fluoride was hailed as one of the top 100 public health interventions in the 20th century. Many people, just talk to older people, the older generations over 80, and they'll tell you about the heavily restored dentitions and people losing their teeth. Now we're seeing people who are getting into their 60s and 70s who have their own natural teeth. I mean, people tend to forget about polio vaccination, the eras of the iron lungs, right? There was that one physician that came out with that falsely documented paper, and this is public knowledge. The guy basically admitted he lied. He was a doctor and said that MMR vaccine was related to autism. He just said, yeah, I lied. He should have had his license revoked, okay? I mean, this is ridiculous, right? I won't say what I really want to say we should have happened to him, but you know, you saw generations of kids who just didn't get the MMR, measles, mumps, rubella vaccine. We saw Sidney Crosby, one of the greatest Canadian hockey players ever, suffering from unilateral parotid gland inflammation from mumps as an adult, and there's other sequelae that come from getting mumps as an adult as well, reproductive issues, painful orchitis and things like that. We won't necessarily touch on that, but what I can promise you is fluoride is a naturally occurring mineral. We found that communities historically that had naturally occurring fluoride, there was less decay in those communities, and that's how we realized that this is the one thing, if we add it into the water supply, it's going to help. There's things like the halo effect water that's produced in Toronto or nearby cities like Brockville, Belleville that have fluoride that will reach these kids. But it's, I mean, let's be honest here. It's not the rich kids we're targeting here, right? It's the kids from the poor communities. These are the kids that are drinking tap water. These are the kids that are going to benefit from having that fluoride incorporated into their developing dentition. And these are the kids who could benefit the most.